Jackson Square. Today we're talking about categorical data. That's hard to say. Categorical data. Categorical data is a data set where the response is not a numerical value, where the response is not numerical. So I'm going to give you some examples, okay? A survey could ask a random group of people, what is your lucky day of the week? That wouldn't be a number. What is your favorite color? That wouldn't be a number. What is your favorite boy's name? Also not numerical. What is your clothing style, gender, type of residence, or education level? Those are all questions which are called also qualitative data that would give you an answer that's not numerical, okay? So we also want to talk about relative frequency table. A table is a common way to display categorical data because it is an easy way to tally the responses. When the percentage of each category is calculated, then it's called a relative frequency table. So we know a frequency table is where we put our tally marks and we count how many times something occurred. Well, once we start putting percentages in that table, then it's called a relative frequency table. Well, how do we calculate percentage? Well, we already know this, right? Here you see our percent proportion. Part over whole is equal to percent over 100, or the part is equal to the percentage times the whole. And then they're saying as a decimal, okay? So as a decimal. So if I multiply my percent times my whole, I can get my parts. So we want to use the knowledge that we already have to answer some questions and look at categorical data and relative frequency. So let's look at example 1. Okay, it says a survey is taken to determine the most common pet that students have. Complete the table below. So I think I've told you guys in the past, whenever you're given a table like this, the first thing I want to do is always find the total. So we know we're dealing with parts, wholes, and percents. So what's the whole of the people surveyed or the students? So when I did my calculations, I added up and I got a total of 200. So I need to find the percentage of students who voted for each one of the pets and look at these names: cat, dog, hamster, fish, categorical data, right? If you're answering a survey question, it's not going to give you a number. And this is going to be a relative frequency table because we're going to get percentages. So here I would be dividing 62 out of 200, 84 out of 200, 38 out of 200, 16 out of 200, my part out of my whole to get my percentages. So I did these ahead of time. This is 31%, this is 42%, this is 19%, and this is 8%. Okay, what percent of the students have a fish or a hamster? A fish or a hamster, so that means hamster and a fish. What percent of the students have a hamster or a fish? So hamster is 38, that means I'm going to add 38 plus 16, and then I'm going to divide it by 200, okay? So 38 plus 16 is 54 over 200. You're going to simplify this and either get a common fraction that we know or do TIBO once you simplify it. So this would be 27%. So 27% of the students would have a fish or a goldfish, fish or a hamster. Why am I saying goldfish? A fish or a hamster. The other way you could have done this, if you already had the percentages, you could add 19 plus 8 and got 27 that way too. Okay? But I just wanted to let you know when it says fish or a fish or a hamster, that you're adding those two together. Which pet has the greatest relative frequency? So when we're saying relative frequency, which one has the greatest percentage? Out of all of these, the animal that has the greatest percent is clearly the dog. Exactly 73% of students own these two pets. So two of these numbers are going to add up for 72%. So I know 7 plus 3, 3 plus 4 is 7. So the first thing I look at is the cat plus the dog, which will give me 31% and 42%, which is 73%. So the answer to this is dog and cat. Those are the two pets that give me 73%. Okay, so let's look at our next table and hopefully I can get through this one better. Mr. Carpenter's fifth grade social studies class participates in a mock election. Complete the table below. Again, I want to get the total. 12 plus 3 plus 6 plus 9, that's 30. Okay? So then I want to get my percentages of votes. I'm going to take the number, the part, and divide by the whole to get my percentages. Okay? And then I've done this ahead as well. This is 40%. This is 10%. This is 20%. And this is 30%. Okay? What percent of voters did not vote for candidate C? So candidate C got 20% of the vote. So I know that 100 minus 20 equals 80%. Which candidate got the least number of votes? So the person with the least number of votes would be candidate B. They got the smallest amount. Exactly 60% of voters chose which two candidates. So again, I'm looking for combinations. 40 plus 10, that's going to be 50, but I know 4 plus 2 is going to give me 60. So I'm going to go with candidate A and candidate C. They got 60% of the votes. So hopefully this is easy. This is not new. This is a review. You're just figuring out how to get percentage. You know the part, you know the whole, you can get the percent. So let's go practice on categorical data and relative frequency tables. Good luck.